The Favorite, directed by Yorgos Lanthimos. This is a movie that, from the trailer, it didn't seem very interesting to me. It seemed like the director was simply trying to annoy the audience. His other movies have done that too. He did The Lobster, and he did The Killing of a Sacred Deer, one that was so highly contested as either being the best movie of the year or the worst movie of the year. But now we have The Favorite, which I think has been a favorite amongst many people. The movie stars Emma Stone, who ends up showing up at Queen Anne's palace wanting to get a job. Her cousin happens to work there as well. But slowly throughout the movie, you begin to understand that Emma Stone's trying to climb up the ranks to secure a position there permanently and to make sure that she doesn't have to worry about anything else in her life. Her life hasn't really been that great. Her dad sold her to some German guy when she was at a young age, and that led to some very disturbing moments to happen in her life that she's very open to talk about. Her character comes across as a sociopath, for sure. I think that is the centerpiece of the movie. And we also have Rachel Weisz playing her cousin, who has already been a lady there for a number of years and has a very close relationship with the Queen. A very close relationship, and one that Emma Stone tries to gain herself. So the movie went in directions I never thought it would go. The movie is essentially about two girls trying to get the favor of the Queen. They're doing this because they want to secure their own lives, I guess. Because as the movie goes along, you begin to understand that one of the characters really does truly care for the Queen, while another character probably doesn't. And by the end, that character ends up being put in their place pretty well, with some very disturbing imagery being done between her and a bunch of rabbits. See, that's the thing. That's the kind of movie this is. There's a lot of stuff that's done, I think, to make this audience really awkwardly laugh. The movie has such a perfect blend of seriousness and comedy that you have to wonder if this is one of the best satires to really ever be made. What is this? What's going on? This is so bleak at times, and sometimes it's way too out there. It's way too dark. It's way too dirty. But I love it. I was kind of surprised how much I loved it because I don't know. It seemed like at times the director was simply trying to annoy the audience, just like with that trailer. But everything is done with a purpose. It all leads towards this dramatic climax, and once you start realizing the true intentions of the characters, you get it. You're like, oh, now it all makes sense. So I like that this movie was able to fit in some really artistic imagery while also having a pretty solid story. These characters are so interesting that I'm sure they will be written about for the next couple of years. They should be anyway. The Queen herself is portrayed wonderfully by Olivia Colman. Honestly, she probably will be getting an Oscar for this role. It's amazing. A lot of her abuses will go to particular characters, often the younger characters, while sometimes she's really nice to these characters, and you never really know where she's gonna go. But by the end, especially with the rabbits, you start to understand where her whole psychology comes from. She can be a baby, but she can also be actually a very caring person. She doesn't want to do this tax on the people. She doesn't really want to keep fighting this war. She actually kind of cares about the people in her country, while all these people who are trying to control her have their own motivations. And even those people sometimes actually care for the people themselves, just a different set of people. The person who only cares about themselves in the movie is the one who ends up getting everything they want, but by the end you realize, wow, she's still being put right in her place, and maybe she didn't get everything she wanted. And I think that's really interesting. The cinematography at times reminded me of Barry Lyndon. I believe there is a lot of influence from that film here. A lot of great shots of people walking dark hallways with only candle lights lighting the way. And yeah, a lot of movies get that wrong. The bigger blockbusters, which are focused during this time period, often have really brightly lit areas. When you think about it, the hallways would look a lot more dark and scary than what they do. And this movie pulls that off. With so many great twists and turns, so many funny lines of dialogue, a great story, and so many interesting characters, all of whom are fighting for one thing or the other, this is definitely one of the most interesting movies of 2018. It never moves at a slow pace, and if you're interested in really subtle sarcasm and great satire, then this is the movie for you. So I give this movie 4.5 out of 5 stars. So is The Favorite your favorite of 2018, or do you think it's an overrated piece of crap? Let me know in the comments, and thanks for watching the video.
Thank you for watching the video. A special thanks to Movie Johnson, Ryan, and Lucas for supporting me on Patreon. If you'd like to be like them and get exclusive access to content and blogs, and even request reviews monthly, please click on the Patreon link, and thanks for your support.